Hello and welcome. I'm here with the lead water filtration expert at Integrity Pure Newcastle and the host of the documentary Newcastles Tap Water. And we're also here with John. He was the producer of this documentary and also the lead researcher. The whole mass treatment of water. We discovered that there's a flaw in this whole process. And we basically answer that the ham and cheese and what the middle part of the documentary, we explain and give you all the information, gives you why there's a design flaw in this whole process, and that is why it needs to be rethought.
Give a short answer here, John.
Firstly, it's just amazing to me how many people didn't take that as the takeaway, right? Because Carl even walks right up to the camera and says there's a design flaw, people.
Still, I believe there's a fundamental design flaw in global water supply.
And then he tells them the design flaw in like beautiful, poetic language, and it's like beautiful, and nobody was like, there's a design flaw.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically the design flaw, we've spoken a little bit about it in the lead up to this point anyway. The design flaw is that there is just way too much infrastructure between me and where they treat my water. They're guaranteeing to the SANS 2-for-1 standard that my water is constitutionally safe.
That comes out of
the treatment plant. They're testing it when it comes out the treatment plant.
Yeah, well,
because they tested it 18 kilometers away.
That's the thing.
And they can't test every...
They can't test at my tap. They've never been to my house to test at my tap. And look, we're not blaming Newcastle municipality for this. This is a global problem.
Yeah.
And again, it's also not a pandemic. It's not like it's the biggest problem in the universe.
No.
But we believe that mankind progresses. We move forward. And we believe that this is one of the areas where we've actually not moved forward very much. In fact, I've found evidence of pictures online of towns in Britain and Europe and these places where they've dug up old water pipes that are like a few hundred years old that were made out of wood. That's how old it was, right?
Okay.
But the only thing that's changed from then till now is the material of the pipe. The process is exactly the same. We treat the water and we shove it through some pipes and we send it to you. Now we look back and think, a wooden pipe, are you dumb? A wooden pipe. Are you dumb?
Look at this nice asbestos concrete.
Right?
Why a wooden pipe?
In exactly the same way we look back now at asbestos concrete and we're like, oh, you're so dumb.
Yeah.
Why did you use asbestos concrete? Now we all think UPVC pipes are going to solve the problem. But I ask you, in 50 years' time, are we all going to look back at UPVC and be like, oh, we're so stupid. We ran our water through PVC pipes. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
Can't say for sure.
But the point remains... Why not just solve the water quality problem at the point of use? And then none of it matters.
On the water that you are taking into your body.
Yes,
once
exactly.
Again.
So we're also not saying this infrastructure needs to disappear. We think this whole bulk water system is great. But it just can't guarantee you water quality at your tap. So why not just do it? Why not just guarantee the water quality at your tap and call it a day? And we've taken one step forward as a society in the way we do water. And sure, it costs some money. And sure, we're going to make some money if you buy a filter, right? Or some other filter company is going to make some money. But that's what progress costs, right? Electric cars, people have to go buy electric cars. They don't just get given out. If that's progress, then we pay for it and we move forward. And anyway.
I don't know if I'm opening a can of worms here with everybody watching us, but can we ever really guarantee it? I don't think it ever gets to like 100%. Having a water filter is a huge leap in the right direction. But having a water filter that is unserviced is almost like you're going back all the way down, back to the start. Because with water filters, most of the elements they use in water filters actually take out the impurities in the water, but when those filter cartridges get saturated with the impurities, they deposit it back into the water as the water flows through that. So if you have a water filter and it's not serviced, you might be doing more harm. So I'm saying you can get as close to 100% guaranteed safe drinking water as you possibly can, but if your water filter is unserviced, you're sliding right back to the scale, and maybe you should be drinking tap water.
Yeah, and it's here for Newcastle with your standard water filter. It needs to be serviced at least every 12 months.
On a household of 4 to 5 people using it for drinking and cooking, which is good. It's we say every 12 months. You can extend it a little if it goes over. It's not a complete train smash, because with these water filters, as I say, it deposits the impurities back into the water. It's always better to service slightly before than slightly too late. But yeah, that's how we come to the numbers. We're not just a company slapping a 12-month thing on it and saying this is it. If you're 2 people in the house, we say 2 years is fine. We're not going to let your guarantee lapse because you didn't service on the 12 months, because we know you're using less water. But yeah, so there's a few things.
I want to add something here, and this definitely isn't my field of expertise, but what I want to add is part of the reason why I love this step forward in water quality, of saying I'm going to put something in my house that guarantees the quality of my water. Now you're talking about maybe it's not 100%, and we can never guarantee 100%, because what's in that tap, we don't know. What's in your cup, we don't know. What's in your glass. Anyway,
But that distance.
this is far less chance. You know, you don't know what's in your tap and your cup, but you don't know what's in 18 kilometers of asbestos concrete pipe. But what I love about this, though, is it's actually coming back to a point of people's, or of saying, take responsibility for your own water quality. Because if you go back far enough in history, people were responsible for the water they drank. I'd go and fetch the water, and there's communities like this today. You go and fetch the water, and you do what you need to do to make sure that water's safe for you and your family. But in came the Industrial Revolution or something. I don't know what happened. And suddenly we said, it's okay, there's some other guys we don't know that are getting paid to do a job, and they're going to do it 18 k's away from us, and they're going to send it to us, and I'm just not going to care about it. And that apathy, that feeling of like, I'm not going to take responsibility of it, I think is part of the problem. And one of the things I love about this next step of saying, by adding a filter into your house or buying filtered water or something, you're taking that into your own hands once again. You're taking your family's health into your own hands. And I love that.
And you're making informed decisions, because when you're buying a filter, you're asking, what is it filtering out, or what can be a problem, and how often do I have to service it? You're asking these questions. So you are making an informed decision as you can possibly do, because you do care about you and your family. So
I'm David, fellow director at IntegriPure Newcastle, and that's us.
You see, the very place that ensures the quality of your water against the SANS 241/2015 standard is separated from you by a vast distance of intricate infrastructure. Now, all of this set aside, it is good to note that the only protection you and your family have from these aging asbestos pipes, failing infrastructure and post-treatment contamination is only chemical dosing of chlorine, which is being dosed into the water at a rate of 10 kilograms per hour. And that's the only thing protecting you and keeping you out of harm's way. You see, that whole design is the trait of something that needs more than an update into the 21st century. It needs to be rethought. It needs to be redesigned for you to have the best possible option of drinking water flowing through your tap. We understand that chlorine is doing an excellent job. Just consider the water test that we took at the beginning of this documentary. It gives us a snapshot of a bottle of water that started its journey at the Newcastle water treatment plant. It took a trip through 50-year-old asbestos concrete pipes, kilometre upon kilometre, just to arrive at its temporary home, a 24-year-old reservoir. There it mixed and swirled with megalitres of other water before embarking on its journey further through more kilometres of 50-year-old asbestos concrete pipes. It flowed past any and all infrastructure failures in its path, together with all the potential contaminants that lurk at those failure points.